African person wants to become so docile and naive that the reason that God said, have dominion, this dominion was not given only to white people. Hear me well. There is something in the soil that is in God. There is something in the water that is in God. There is something in the air that is in God. And the trinity of the presence of God, as time is neither horizontal nor cyclical, as time is vertical, in the abundant presence of Him who lives, therefore life has meaning. Combination of things in His hands becomes the very product of who we are today. All of us a product of divine genius. But the Bible then here says, let us make man in our own image, after our own likeness. Why? So that He may have dominion. That's where we're starting off. That many people think that this passage of having dominion, particularly when you talk about the Indian, the Chinese, the African, and the European. The African person wants to become so docile and naive that the reason that God said, have dominion, this dominion was not given only to white people. It was not given to Indians. Dominion was given to everybody on the face of the earth. When the African is claiming his dominion, he's not asking for sympathy. He's actually assuming a divine prerogative. It is an insult of the highest order to have a child and that child dies as a slave. It is of the highest order of presumption that a slave thinks that he can worship the God of the master. How can God of the slave and God of the master be the same? When God said, have dominion, this message is for everybody out there. If you are happy to be a slave, stay there. We don't have a problem with you. Some of us are not comfortable anymore. We want the full Bible. We want to claim these things as they are. I want to have dominion over the air. Like Vodacom, MTN, and Cell C, they've mastered the business of selling air. That's why we call it air time. There is business in the air. And some of you young people out there, you need to start moving away from your small little desks and look into the sky, for you have dominion in the skies. Aeroplanes fly in the skies. TVs, radios, medias are in the air. Right now around your head here, there's enough stuff happening. You just don't have the equipment to harvest it into reality. You need power over the air. Not only over the air, you are made out of the same air. So don't be afraid. Oh, I'm afraid of heights, afraid of heights. Then you forget that inside you there is air. And how do you think you're going to go to heaven and fly for millions of kilometers if you cannot even stand on top of a chair? Dominion over the air. After dominion over the air, you want dominion over the land. Oh, you didn't hear me out there. Land is everything. That's where agriculture is, on land. That's where housing is, on land. That's where mining is, on land. That's where farming is, on land. That's where water is, on land. That's where houses are, on land. There is no government, there is no king, there is no monarch, there is no house that can be built without land. Therefore, forget about all other ministries. The only important ministry we can talk about is the ministry of land. And on the land, we have our beasts, our animals, our trees, and etc. There's a time here in Africa when our land used to be our pharmaceutical house. There's a time when our land was our life. Africans, we don't own our land. Our land owns us. From it we came, to it we shall return. If you take away my land, you're taking away my very dignity. And God says, have dominion over the land, not over flats and duplexes. Not having dominion over cars and GTIs and penny droppers. We're talking about dominion over land, authority over the land, resourcefulness. Adam, talk about your Eden. Forget politics and economics. Once you hold Eden, the soil on which you are standing on, take off your shoes once in a while. Put your feet on the ground and walk barefoot. Touch the ground, for that's what you are made out of. And to it you shall return shortly.